What's up, guys? Hokage Puya here. And ESPN, they released the top 25 players of the 21st century list. And I saw it earlier in the day when I was at work, and I looked over it, and I'm like, it's not a big deal. It's just a list. I'm not going to make a video on it. I don't really care about it, right? Who cares? Nonchalant, you guys. I was nonchalant. Like, oh, whatever. I only care about my opinions. And then I get home, I look through it, and I just find myself cursing out the screen. This list pissed me off. This list got my balls shaking. My balls were shaking. Seismic G-forces were being produced from down there. I was mad. And I am on here mad. And I'm going to be talking throughout this video mad, annoyed, insulted. I'm insulted, ESPN. And ESPN, the reason I didn't care was like, whatever. All these mainstream medias make lists like these. Then I think about Americans and Americans getting into football more and learning about the game. ESPN is the biggest platform in sports in the United States. They release this bullshit list. Americans are going to read it, and Americans are going to take it to heart. And I have to fight against that in the United States. I can't, you guys, I don't got a platform. I got 500 subs. I'm small. I'm a loser. People ain't going to listen to me. But now, who knows how many people went to ESPN.com and looked at this list and said, oh, you know what? Now I know a lot about football. I could go talk about all these players. No, don't listen to this. So let's just start. Let's go. So we're going to start from the top. Let's baseball. We hate baseball. Wait, is that going to be copyright too? Whatever. Screw baseball. Disgusting pig sport. Number 1, Messi. Okay, obviously. We're not going to talk too much about the obvious picks. Messi first, Cristiano second. No complaints. I'm happy. I'm a happy customer. You guys, do you know who they put at third? Thierry Henry! Henry! The guy who's chubbing up a boner for Kate Abdo every studio session in the Champions League. Thierry Henry! Now, don't get me wrong, guys. Thierry Henry, Tesh, amazing player. One of the greatest foreign players in Premier League history. World Cup winner, Euro winner. Look at the accomplishments. Ow, my elbow. Part of the Invincibles team. I get it. Where's your Champions League? Where's your big game performance? Thierry Henry does not have moments of greatness. Thierry Henry does not have iconic moments. Thierry Henry isn't a Ballon d'Or winner. Thierry Henry has a World Cup, has a Euro, but he wasn't the main guy in those teams. When he was a main guy in the team in 2006, they lost the freaking final. Yes, maybe Zidane was to blame for that, But Zidane was the only reason they were there anyway. Thierry Henry at third. When we look at the other players on this list and the players that missed out, Thierry Henry third. Mamma mia. Croissants. I like croissants, but now I'm going to spit on croissants. This French third. Come on. Manuel Neuer is, you guys, Manuel Neuer, I'm going to talk about it. I put Manuel Neuer third over this dude. Thierry Henry maybe scratches top 25. Third? Messi, Ronaldo, Henry? Who wrote this? Send him to San Quentin. You guys, let's start Alcatraz back up. Let's start a GoFundMe. Let's get Alcatraz back in operation. And let's throw whoever wrote this article and whoever the ESPN experts were that voted on this, let's throw them in Alcatraz. 25 life sentences. Disgusting. Thierry Henry. This Thierry Henry third. Anyway, fourth, Zinedine Zidane. Now, Zidane, one of the best footballing players of all time. I do believe people look back on him fondly. If Zinedine Zidane played football in the modern age, this age, social media age, people would not look as highly at him as they do because he was not a very consistent player back then. That needs to be said. But Zinedine Zidane fourth, I ain't mad about it, man. I am not mad about it. Although he underwhelmed at Real Madrid, I am not mad about this. Zinedine on fourth. Cool. You know, I would argue he's lower, but this isn't egregious. Fifth. Now, okay, let's go through fifth, sixth, seven, and eighth. Now, Andres Iniesta, Javi Hernandez, and Luka Modric. You know, although I think Iniesta is the best out of those midfielders, and Iniesta should be fifth place, right? You know, that you could argue Luka Modric was a better player than Iniesta and Javi Hernandez. You can argue that. So I'm not too appalled that these ESPN experts came to the conclusion that Luka Modric is the fifth best player in the 21st century. I'm not mad about it. You know, it's not egregious. But there is plenty of more egregious things coming up in this list, guys. Disgusting behavior from ESPN. But Luka Modric being fifth, Andres Iniesta and Javi Hernandez being behind him, right behind him, is not egregious. I'll tell you what the next egregious thing is. And you guys, I think I figured it out. The French people were the experts. There were too many French guys, the experts here, because Kylian Mbappe 6 in front of Xavi and Iniesta. What the in front of Ronaldo, Dino, Mbappe 6. The guy who has an underwhelming club career so far, barely made the move to Real Madrid, has no Champions Leagues, made a final and bricked it in the final. Yes, I get it. Kylian Mbappe has had the best first two World Cups of any player in history. He's already a World Cup legend. I get it, but he's been ass at 2 Euros. His best Champions League campaign was at freaking Monaco when he was still a virgin. Let's not kid ourselves. The accomplishments are there, and I'm sure Kylian Mbappe will win 2 or 3 Champions Leagues at Real Madrid. I understand that, but that hasn't happened yet. Kylian Mbappe 6 over a guys who have won 2 Euros, World Cup, 2 trebles, sextuple season. Andres Iniesta and Javi Hernandez. I said, guys, start the GoFundMe. Alcatraz, let's get it back in operation. Whoever voted on this thing, 25 to life. No, 25 life sentences. And we're going to have it that once you die, your next closest relative will have to go and serve the rest of your sentence. And it'll go on 25 life sentences. That's freaking 25 generations. Disgusting behavior. Kylian Mbappe 6, disgust. I spit on this freaking list. Javi, again, if Iniesta was above Kylian Mbappe and Javi was in front of Kylian Mbappe, I'm not mad. You can argue whatever order, Luka Modric, Iniesta, and Javi. You can argue. But Kylian Mbappe 6, get to the back of the line, Kylian Mbappe. Get to the, you're not even top 25 probably because you have no Champions League, bro. Disgusting behavior. Now, the egregious thing here is that Mbappe is above Ronaldo and Dino, but it is not the craziest thing to say that you would put Modric, Iniesta, and Xavi above Ronaldo and Dino. I am not going to sit here and hear it that this is an egregious thing. Ronaldo, Nazario, and Ronaldinho being behind Javi Hernandez, Iniesta, and Modric is not crazy. Taking into accomplishments, how good they were in the position, their longevity, this is not a crazy statement to put Xavi, Iniesta, and Modric above Ronaldo and Ronaldinho if we're taking everything into account. It is not a crazy thing to say. So ESPN, I kind of respect that. This isn't just a lunacy list. This is respect, okay? Now, who do they have in 11th? So Ibra is 11th. Ibra should not be on this list. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And you guys, don't get me wrong. I love Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I grew up adoring Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I have his freaking book. Oh, I just bit out a hook nail. I have his book on my shelves, all right? Zlatan, I love you. But you are not the 11th best player of the 21st century. Yes, look at the accomplishments. 511 career goals. Scored at least one Champions League goal with 6 teams. Notice the wordplay there. Scored at least one Champions League goal with 6 teams. Who cares? You were on 6 teams and didn't make a Champions League final, man. 12 league titles with 5 European. That's great. That's amazing, right? Respect to that. But in the Champions League, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, where's your what? You haven't made a final. And the year you left Inter to go to Barcelona, Inter went and won the treble. And then the next year, when you left Barcelona, Barcelona then went to win the Champions League. Where is your Champions League, Zlatan Ibrahimovic? Where? And to be in this list above, Luis Suarez and Benzema and Lewandowski is just. I get Zlatan's longevity. He debuted back in the 90s and he played through 4 different decades. I get it. And he was a 6 foot, what it says, 6'5" striker who would, have a supreme technical ability. Probably has the craziest goal catalog of all time. But 11th place, come on, man. And again, another. Kevin 12. Kevin 12? You're fucking kidding me, mate. Kevin De Bruyne? I get it, guys. Kevin De Bruyne is one of the greatest Premier League midfielders of all time. But let's keep it real. He was the leader of that Belgian golden generation, and he failed to win with Belgium. He has, he had an amazing season with Wolfsburg in the Bundesliga, went to Man City, and he's one of the best Premier League midfielders of all time. I will not forget how many times this guy failed in the big Champions League moments. I will not forget that this guy went off injured in 2 freaking Champions League finals. I won't forget that. Yes, he has a treble, but I am not going to forget that. And Kevin De Bruyne, I think Kevin De Bruyne should be in a top 25 list. Don't get me wrong. I think Kevin De Bruyne should be in a top 25 list because you have to take in all his accomplishments and everything. I take him over Hazard in a list like this because Hazard's accomplishments aren't the same as Kevin De Bruyne's accomplishments. So you can't put Hazard in this list. But Kevin De Bruyne, great accomplishments. But I'm sorry, when you take into account the players behind him and the players that missed out, Samuel Eto'o, Manuel Neuer, Philipp Lahm, just to name a few. How are you in this list, Kevin? How? I just don't see it. And look who they put behind him. Toni Kroos, treble winner, 6-time Champions League winner, La Liga, Bundesliga, World Cup. On top, one of the best midfielders in the world since 2013, Toni Kroos. For 11 years, 12 years, this guy was on the top of the world, and he is behind Kevin De Bruyne with 6 Champions Leagues, a World Cup, treble with Bayern. Come on, dude. I mean, I'm almost tired of streaming. Sergio Ramos, not good placement. Like, yes, it's egregious to have Sergio Ramos behind, Thierry Henry, De Bruyne, and Zlatan and those guys, killing Mbappe. But, taking those things out, Sergio Ramos, 14, isn't too crazy. Carlos Puyol, nothing too crazy here. And I think from here, the list is all right. Busquets, Benzema, great. I agree. Lewandowski, maybe some people might argue Lewandowski's a little bit too high, but I'm sorry. Lewandowski was, one of the top 3 strikers in the world for 12, 13 years. You know what I mean? From like 2012, 2013 to 2022, Lewandowski was on top of the world for like 10 years as one of the top 3 strikers in the world. Dragging Poland to international tournaments, winning that treble with Bayern, having that sextuple season, robbed of the Ballon d'Or in 2020. You could argue maybe even a second Ballon d'Or in 2021 where Messi took it from him. So Lewandowski being here, nothing. Kaká, I agree, should be here. Now this. If we're being real, Neymar should be here. If we're being honest with ourselves, Neymar should be here. But where do they have Neymar? Look at how much I'm scrolling, guys. They have Neymar in 20th place. Now, yes, I understand Neymar, when he went to PSG, didn't succeed as he was supposed to, didn't win the Champions League with PSG like he was supposed to, but he is still part of that iconic treble-winning side. Iconic MSN, 2-time La Liga. Wait, that can't be right. Only 2 La Ligas. Wait, what? I don't think that's. I think Neymar has won more La Ligas than that, right? Neymar has more La Ligas than that. I don't trust that. 5-time Liga winner, Puskas Award in 2011 for that Santos goal. Remember, Brazil all-time goal scorer, and the amount of trophies won. And yes, he has no accomplishments with Brazil, but let's be real. With what we're seeing in Brazil without Neymar since he was injured, we're seeing that Neymar was actually carrying this dog crap Brazilian generation for a decade. Yes, the accomplishments might not stack up with Iniesta, Modric, Xavi, and all those guys, but based off of talent alone, Neymar should be third. How good, not just talent, how good of a player he is, Neymar should be third because Neymar is the second most talented footballer of all time. I believe that Neymar is the second most talented footballer of all time. Number one, only second to Messi. Messi is number one, Neymar number two. Second most talented player I've ever seen. And it says right here, the boy prince that had never quite grew into the king of the game he was supposed to be. You know, if Neymar's career went as it was supposed to, Neymar should have 3 Ballon d'Ors by now. He should be the best player in the world right now. He should have won a Copa America with Brazil. Probably should have won a World Cup by now, but he hasn't done that. But let's be honest, he's actually been performing with Brazil. He's been carrying that dog crap Brazil team. And the move to PSG ended up not being the right career move. But I'm sorry, taking all that into account, just how good of a player Neymar is, he deserves third spot. And I don't care what anyone says. Now, I don't know why they said just missed the list. It's a top 25. So I don't know if ESPN doesn't know how to do math, but you guys still have 5 places left, you numbskulls. Andre Pirlo, 21, not mad about it. Wayne Rooney, Vieira, Luis Suarez. I understand why Luis Suarez is so low because his Champions League goal scoring record is not as good as people know. I think he only has like 24, 25 goals in the Champions League. Luis Suarez's Champions League goal amount is not as great as people remember. Luis Suarez, 24, I'm not mad at. Buffon, 25. So basically they're saying Buffon is better than Neuer and better than Iker Casillas. Yes, that's a valid argument. But for me, I'm looking at names like Buffon. I'm looking at names like Vieira, Wayne Rooney. I'm looking at, let's go back up, Zlatan, Kevin De Bruyne, Mbappe. Thierry Henry can make a top 25. But those players, I'm looking at those players and I'm thinking, why is Lam the greatest right back of all time, the most well-rounded right back we've ever seen? Why is he not even mentioned in this list? Why is Neuer, 2-time treble winner, iconic World Cup performance, probably best goalie in the world, in my opinion, for 13, 14, 15 years now? That might be biased, but for many years, Neuer was a menacing goal. Aura from the goal. Why is Neuer not in this? Why is Samuel Eto'o? I was about to say Umtiti. Why is Samuel Eto'o not in this list? Samuel Eto'o. Eto'o is above Thierry Henry. Why are players like these not in this list? You know what I mean? So, ESPN, man, like, I got so mad because it really hit me when I realized, oh my God, the numbskull Americans, my fellow numbskull Americans that don't know anything about this sport, will open up this freaking list and believe it. And believe Thierry Henry, Kevin De Bruyne, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Rooney. And I love Rooney, guys. Rooney, he's my favorite English player of all time. These guys aren't top 25, man. Come on. Maybe Rooney can be, but where's Neuer? Thomas Muller. And that's biased for me because I'm the Bayern Germany fan, whatever. But these guys have genuine chance. Neuer, in my opinion, Neuer absolutely has to be in this list. I think Philipp Lahm absolutely has to be in this list. I'm sorry. I truly believe that. You could argue for Thomas Muller, Samuel Umtiti. I'm probably forgetting a whole... Now, I was about to say Schneider, not Schneider. Guys like Ribéry and Robben, yes, they might not have they don't have the international achievements and not as many Champions Leagues, but they weren't mentioned. Those guys could have been in this list. Eden Hazard could have been a shout for the list because of how talented of a player he was. So, yeah, man. ESPN, repping the United States, making us look like crap. I don't know who the experts were that made that list, but I'm going to find you and I'm going to speak some sense into your brain. You guys, this has been Okage Puya. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.